What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I have an attack that I'm really excited to show to you guys. The reason being is because this thing absolutely crushes, and the reason why I'm showing you this attack today in specific is because yesterday we saw officially the Eternal Tome get nerfed, and this attack doesn't use the Eternal Tome. So I think that's really good, and it is a Root Rider attack. This is the attack that I think a majority of pros they haven't been using it in execution because the Eternal Tome nerf hasn't happened for any tournaments yet. But as for in practice, I've been seeing this attack used a lot by pros. So this attack definitely works even on hard mode, so it's a really good attack. I do want to say before I get into the attack, and I'm not great at editing yet, so I'm just going to show you through my phone, but 98% of the people watching this content are not subscribing. And I just need to throw that out there. I would appreciate if you guys enjoy the content. If you could subscribe, it is appreciated, and obviously it'll help the channel do better. But without further ado, let's get into my war attack. I'm going to show you this attack in war. It was a supercharged 17, and then we'll talk about how to use this attack, and I'll do some live replays. So I'm just going to tell you what I see when I see this base, and then you'll obviously see the attack itself. The base is intentionally set up this way. This is just how Town Hall 17 works. When you look at this, you're looking for where can I set my funnel using an RC charge. Now, usually these compartments right here, these heavier compartments, are difficult to deal with. It's the corner compartments that are going to be easy for the RC, like this compartment, these corner compartments are the ones that are going to be easy for the RC, and it's intentionally set up that way, as what you're going to see when I do my attack is this compartment is where I'm going to do my RC charge, and it's just going to be riddled with traps to get as much damage on my RC as possible. I'm going to make some adjustments to this attack when I do it live, just because there were some things that I was testing out that really just didn't make sense, and you'll see right off the beginning that the Spirit Fox goes in and just dies. So here's what we do. We start off with the RC charge on this corner, and the idea is to just take out this compartment. When we take out this compartment, or let's let it play, and I'll explain why we want this compartment so badly, but it should be pretty apparent. But yeah, you can see the Spirit Fox went in and just immediately died. So that was not well done on my part. I think we should try a different pet. And then you can also see all of these traps going off here, and that is because he baited the RC charge on this side. And so at this point, I know that I didn't get the expo, but I've still divided. I've still taken out these trash buildings. I've still taken out these buildings. So I've set up enough of a funnel that, and yeah, I did want that expo. The expo is at 1 HP though. But I've set up enough of a funnel. Sorry, let me pause this. Where you can see I placed the troops. So I set up enough of a funnel where the troops are going to go this way. And we want them to go around the outside of the base the whole way. As for the Town Hall and the core, if you are wondering, that is why we have 2 overgrowth spells in this attack. So what's going to happen is the attack is going to go like this. I'm going to draw it up, and then we're really going to show it off. It goes Root Riders plus the healers. We're going to have the Queen has Sneezy to bait out traps. So Warden has the Rage Gem and the Healing Tome, no Eternal Tome. So Warden goes down here, all the healers, all the Root Riders. What's going to happen then is I use 2 Ice Golems as well, and I put the 3rd Ice Golem with the King. So what I like to do is right here, we put down the Siege Barrack here, we put down the King here, and I want the King going into this compartment. The Siege Barrack's going to clear the trash buildings on the outside. I can use a Wall Breaker, get the King in here, help clean this up, with the rest of the troops coming along to join the King. And then once these trash buildings are cleared, I can kind of place my Valkyries, and that way they'll go in with the Root Riders and help follow through. So let's see exactly how this goes down here. Oh, we still have that circle in the bottom. That's all good. So Root Riders, Ice Golems, and the healers, plus the Warden, plus Apprentice Warden. That way you kind of get the Life Gem effect as well. And then once the funnel is set up, you can see the Valkyries going, and they're going to help out. We use the Overgrowth in the core and the King in, and the idea is everything is just going to go around the outside. Valkyries, or sorry, the healers are going to keep him alive. The Rage is going to make him doing good damage, and this base you're going to see by the end. Everything does die, but it is crushed. So the King and Queen are alive with their abilities, full health. It is crushed. We wait a little bit here, we're waiting, we use another overgrowth, and obviously the idea here is that the core is what's difficult. Now here's the thing that I do want to mention is, I did say that we want to go outside the base. Once we get to here, once we take out this area, this ricochet and whatnot, and half the base is cleared, our troops can only go one way, which is this way. And at that point, that's why this attack only has 2 overgrowths. At that point, we don't need the Town Hall overgrowth because everything will come through the core anyways, and they'll deal with the Town Hall. The idea is that we're setting up a funnel on this side, and then everything is going to go this way at the end, and that way we can deal with the core. And you're going to see that happen here. So everything continues to go out on the outside, and then the overgrowth is eventually going to disappear. RC troops, by the way, don't really have to be concerned about them. We have a poison. We have so much in there, so we just dropped the poison, and they're really dealt with immediately, no problem. Even though they got a few hits on the warden there and did a lot of damage. I pointed at my screen. You guys can't see what I'm pointing at, but the warden almost goes down there. I wait a little bit, and then right when the overgrowth goes down, that's when we use that warden ability, because things are going to start taking damage from the monolith, from the town hall. So just because they're taking this poison damage, if we use that healing tome, we can kind of keep everything at full health, and we don't need the help of the healers necessarily. So you can see that we still have so much alive going into the final compartment here. And this base, again, is just absolutely crushed, no problem. I still haven't even used the queen ability. I still haven't even used my super barbs. Everything does end up dying here at the end, which is all good because the healers go down and everything dies because of that. But we kept everything alive long enough. I end up using the queen ability here because why not? And once again, this base is crushed, easy 3 stars. So let's actually attack some online Town Hall 17s and show this attack off in execution. Actually, quickly, let's just show off what the attack is going to look like. So here it is. You can see that I have 335 housing space now, by the way. Very close to the 340. This is 2 days away. What I would say with that extra 5 housing space is just an extra barb. You know, nothing too crazy. But here's what it's looking like. So it's going to be 6 super barbs if you have 340 housing space, 2 wall breakers, 3 balloons, a wizard just because we had this space, 5 healers for the root riders, 5 root riders, an apprentice warden to help with that, and 3 ice golems, 2 with the main attack and 1 to support our queen. You can also just use 1 with the main attack, and then you could use 1 early with the queen and 1 late with the queen. It's really the king. It's up to you, and I'll try both, and I'll show you kind of how that looks. And then obviously when everything's funneled, we get the Valkyrie in there. We have 2 overgrowth because we are using the healing tome, and we want to kind of just overgrowth whatever compartment is going to do the most damage. If the town hall is not in the core, we're still overgrowth in the core, just whatever is that heavy damage area. We have a freeze just because we have an extra spell slot. That could be a poison if you want it to be, and change something out here. It's just we do have 1 extra spell slot. You can also be the new spell. I think that the new spell is actually pretty good. But you have an extra spell slot. Could be a skeleton spell too. Could really be a lot of things, honestly. 2 overgrowth, and then in the clan castle we like to have 3 yetis, the troop launcher and the siege barrack. You don't really need that if you have them unlocked, but whatever, I have them in there. And the recall, we do need the recall for this attack. And then for the abilities, you can see that we were using the rocket spear with the RC. That's kind of important, and the healing tome plus rage jump for the warden. Everything else is pretty standard. And then you can see the pets. But as I established, I think we're going to try out a different pet. This time, I think as crazy as this may be, I think we may try the poison lizard. Let's just give it a try and see what happens. I would say that I would rather use maybe Frosty on the king and then the Phoenix on the RC, but we don't have Frosty right now. You know what? I'm gonna do this actually. I'm going to put Diggy on the queen, Sneezy on the warden, and then we'll do Diggy on the king with the unicorn on the queen. So this actually looks better. So let's try this attack out in some live bases here, and let's see how it goes. Okay, so we have a good base here. Sadly, there is an invis spell in the core, which is kind of difficult. We can maybe freeze it, but we just want this core. So I'm thinking RC charge on this side. We didn't use the rocket sphere, so I think what we're going to do, I think we'll save the rocket spear for the second half of the attack, honestly, because we didn't use it. Well, we really don't need that much. We just need this corner. That was kind of enough to set up a funnel. Everything else is just going to be extra value for us. I'm not going to complain about extra value. Who is? But I'm telling you that you just don't need to be stressing about, you know, how much value she gets from this point forward. Even the scatter shot, I don't really need. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do queen from here. That down there with an ice golem. And then we'll do a king right here. And here we go. The 5. That's annoying that the healers are going that way. Healers, thank you. They corrected. They're all good. And, okay, I'm sorry. I said we wanted to go for the core. We're just going to overgrowth the core. I forgot about the overgrowth in this attack. So let's overgrowth the core. And let's send everything on the outside here. We did lose, I think... Oh, no, we didn't lose a Root Rider. I thought we lost a Root Rider, but we did not. So we're looking good here. So we're just going to continue, send everything on the outside, wait for this overgrowth to go, and use another overgrowth. And then we'll actually use the Warden ability kind of early. And we'll use the king ability, sorry, the queen ability when we get into this last compartment. This compartment right here, the queen ability is going to go down. And we're going to use the freeze spell on... that was an early freeze spell. I needed the overgrowth to go away. Oh no, it actually may have worked out. I wanted to get that. Okay, I wanted to get the invis tower. Oh no, we got it. Nice. And then, so I would say, like, we can just help out. Place the RC here and maybe take out, you know, she'll take out what she takes out. We probably could have used her more at the top. She's going to go into that queen, which is kind of annoying. I really don't want her dealing with that queen. But this base is not crushed. It's not a crushed base, but this, you know, is not really, you know, we still have the Phoenix on the RC. We have our queen alive, our warden alive. You know, not the perfect execution, so it wasn't crushed, but still very good execution and a very easy 3-star. Sending everything through the outside, overgrowth in the core. And again, we're not using the Eternal Tome, and this is 3-starring. I think that was a maxed out 17 with supercharged. And was supercharged. I know the walls are a little ugly on this base. We gotta lose some trophies here before we go into that next attack. But yeah, this was definitely, yeah, this was like a fully supercharged 17. So pretty good base. And again, that's what we're doing here. We're overgrowthing the core, and we're sending everything through the outside here. So let's quickly lose some trophies, and then I'll come back. We'll do one last live attack. Okay, so here we go, guys. Another Town Hall 17 here. Obviously, we all know, I think what we're doing here, we're overgrowthing the core. We're sending around the outside. I don't think we're going to be able to overgrowth like these corner buildings in the core, which is honestly fine, because as we go through the outside, I think we'll clear those. So let's start our RC charge in this corner. Honestly, I think the corner that she starts in on this base didn't really matter all too much. Check out that in Tesla. So we have the corner down, and again, I need to express this at this point. Everything else is extra value. So don't be, you know, trying to do too much with the RC charge. We're just, oops, did not mean to place that so late. Okay, so she's done. That's all she's gonna get. Okay, so we will start with the queen down here. This down here, we'll even throw in a wall breaker to help get our king in, and we'll throw down, so let's do our 5 root riders, our healers here, our apprentice warden, our real warden, our 2 ice golems, 1 ice golem, king, and everything is pretty much in. We're going to let our king help us funnel a little bit, and then we can send the Valks in. That way they go straight into the middle. We're taking damage that we don't need to be taking. Okay, that's on me. So you guys need, if you see that, you should be overgrowthing a little bit earlier. Shouldn't be taking damage from the Town Hall. That's damage that doesn't need to be taken. So, you know, try and get that overgrowth down a little bit earlier. But everything is in the core now and absolutely destroying. Also, I should mention that you can use the RC ability either at the beginning of her walk or at the end of the attack. You can see that we're obviously using it at the end of the attack here, but it can go either way. and we'll use our Warden ability probably right now, honestly. Heal the healers back up and keep everything alive. We'll put down our freeze there, and then so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take out this corner, and that way everything is forced to come down back into the core here instead of continuing to go around. The Queen ability is going to go down here, which is what we want, and then I'm also going to break open everything with the King ability, and you know, again, every Root Rider is alive, everything is alive. This base is crushed. Town Hall 17, no problem for this attack. And you can see based off the execution, like a certain amount of things will stay alive. What's important about this attack is keeping the healers alive. You can see that as long as the healers are alive, the attack is not going to die. The attack is not going to die. So let's donate to this guy. At least level 6 is what he's saying. Okay, so let's quickly just show off both of these bases here. I just want to talk about two things quickly. So the first thing, I know that I just mentioned these, but I just want to clear them in this space. That way, it's just more organized instead of hearing all the attack and whatnot. The first thing is that the RC ability can be used you can either place the RC down in this corner, for example, and use the Rocket Spirit. She'll take out this probably, and then she'll go in, and now you have 6 invis spells, and you'll get a lot of value from that. And again, those invis spells are just to grab as much value as you can. And then, or option 2 is you can do what I did, which is you can use her on the back end. I did notice, though, in that attack, that it honestly is probably better to use her on the back end. So you can see that everything went around, this is the eraser tool, everything went around this way, and we were able to take out this with the RC. That way when they got here and the overgrowths were done, they went down. Again, that's what we want. Even with this here, they're still going to go this way, and they're going to go down anyways, but you can also just cut this off with the RC and have them go in a little earlier. And so the last thing I want to mention is that, so the most important part about this attack is keeping the healers alive. You saw with that last attack, the healers stayed alive the whole attack, and so did the troops. So if the healers are alive, the troops are alive. That's why it's a bit easier to pull off a Town Hall 17 because of Sneezy, but that's why, like, we have Sneezy. We're trying to pull traps with Sneezy for sure. That's why we have the 3 balloons, which I keep forgetting to use, but you would place them at the start of your attack in front of the healers to, once again, lure out traps as well as Sneezy. And then the last thing I would say is, like, if you see that your healers are getting low on health, that's when you would probably want to use your Warden ability. Make sure those healers stay alive. If they're good on health and they're staying alive, save the ability for the core or the high damage areas. But yeah, I mean, you kind of want to be using it when your troops or your healers are low on health. Anyways, thank you guys for watching today's video. That is a no Eternal Tome attack that crushes bases, so I strongly suggest trying it out for yourself. If there's anything that you guys want to see in the next video, just let me know in the comments. I'm willing to do whatever you guys want to see. Also, there was a new update. I can talk about the new update if anybody's interested on some of the things that came out. We do have the Crusher Mortar on my base. And I can talk about different bases for the different defenses if you guys want. Whatever you guys want, just let me know. And also, I'd appreciate if you guys could subscribe to the channel. And with that said, thank you guys for watching today's video. And I'll see you guys probably later this week, not tomorrow, but I'll see you guys later this week with another video.